גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאי גאי 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 גאי. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, יאי גאי 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 גאי. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומה נעים, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Thank you, Sharon. Erev Tov to everybody. Hopefully you're all well and managing to keep warm and adjusting to a new board and all the things that are happening in the lead up to our high holy days. Sometimes Rabbi Naomi Levy just hits the spot. I'll show you a book that I have of hers. It's called To Begin Again. And she describes lots of different situations with very helpful descriptions of things. And talking about true comforts, she tells the story of Joseph and his brothers. You'll remember that he was sold into slavery and ended up in Egypt, becoming a viceroy. He was sold into slavery, of course, because he was his father's favorite son, and the brothers didn't like that at all, especially the way he showed off about it. That didn't go down very well. So he ends up in prison and then as the viceroy in Egypt, one of Pharaoh's highest positions. And through the famine that came to Canaan, his brothers traveled to Egypt in search of food. And they came in front of, they were brought in to Joseph, who they didn't recognize because he was wearing completely different clothing. He looked very regal. Of course, he spoke the language, which they didn't. They had to have an interpreter. And he had an air of an important man about him. But he recognized them. And suddenly, the pain from his childhood came back to him, and he had to hold back his tears. And in fact, he deceived them, and he kind of played with them a little bit for a while. And then eventually, his tears were there, but he just couldn't let them see it. He wasn't ready. But eventually, one day, he let it all out. I am your brother Joseph. He began to cry, the cry of a man who has held a lifetime of tears inside, the cry of a man who is ready to let down his guard and release his anger and his thoughts of revenge. He cried the cry of a young boy who has not seen his big brothers for so many years, and the cry of a man who has grown too accustomed to wearing masks. And gradually through those tears, he comes close to his brothers again. They all weep together in the end, and they embraced. It was only when Joseph was ready to cry that he was ready to be reunited with his brothers. His tears removed the callousness from his heart. They gave him the capacity to forgive, to feel, to love, and to be affectionate once more. In order to cry, we have to be willing, says Naomi Levy, to experience our sadness. We have to stop running from painful thoughts and stop clamping down on ourselves like in Zoom meetings when our sorrow begins to surface. We must be willing to relinquish control and unleash the pent-up whirlwind of emotions that lie within us. When we cry, our souls, our minds, our hearts, and our bodies become one. They are unified in a single outpouring of anguish. So she ends this little chapter. If we can't cry, if our minds are distracted or our bodies constricted, but when the time is right, if we allow tears to come, our entire being will open up and express itself. I have never met a person who has not felt better after crying. Your face is all blotchy, your nose is red, your makeup is smeared, but to me, there's nothing more beautiful than a person's face after a cry. A sense of peace and relief settles on his or her expression, a holy calm. We need to learn how to wear our tears. We need to learn how to let ourselves cry. And like Joseph, to bask in the precious healing that our tears will bring. I think we've been held back a lot by Zoom, by a lot of things that have been happening. Maybe we need to let our tears well up and be shed together at some point or other so that we can come together again in peace and holy calm. So let's go on with our service, which begins with a call to prayer. Thank you, Sharon. It's on page 4 at the beginning of our Siddur.
Barechu et Adonai ha-mevorach. Baruch Adonai ha-mevorach leolam vaed.
And on page 6, Ma'ariv Aravim. Let's read it in English for a change. Blessed are you, eternal our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, whose wisdom opens heaven's gates, whose understanding changes times and seasons, who arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign over us into eternity. Blessed are you, eternal one, who brings on the evening. Baruch atah Adonai, ha-ma'ariv aravim. And on Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Bet Yisrael, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Ken Adonai Eloheinu, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך, לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו, ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
ואהבת אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. And on the next page, on page 13, the Eternal One said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelite people and instruct them to make themselves fringes on the corners of their garments through the ages. Let them attach a cord of blue to the fringe at each corner. That shall be your fringe. Look at it and recall all God's commandments and observe them, so that you do not follow your heart and eyes in your lustful urge." למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, Adonai Elohechem Emet. Page 14. Emet ve'emunah kol zot, v'kayam aleinu hu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ein zulato, va'anachnu Yisrael amo. On the following page, the opposite page, let's read together. Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. On page 60.
מי כמוך בעירים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, נורא תהילות אוסף פלא, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע הים לפני משה ומרים, זהרי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ים בם בים ביבי בם, ים בם בים בם, ים בם בים ביבי בם, ים בם בים בם, יאי גאי 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 גאי, ים בם בים בם, יאי גאי 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 גאי, ים בם בים בם. בני מקיף אדוני את יעקב, וגדול מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
On page 19, let's read together the reading halfway down the page. Give us a place to rest, eternal our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours. Baruch atah Adonai, shomer amo Yisrael la'ad. Kaddish on page 20. Thank you, Sharon.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, בהמה תברהירותה, וימליך מלכותה, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיידךו בית ישראל. בהגרה, ובזמן קריב, באמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, להגמואל מהמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתברך ויתרומם, ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה בריחו, רגע מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו amen.
And we turn to page 74 for the Amidah. But actually, if you keep a finger in there, I would like to read something from page 81. Where might I go to find you, exalted, hidden one? Yet where would I not go to find you, ever present, eternal one? My heart cries out to you, please draw near to me. The moment I reach out for you, I find you reaching in for me. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. And if you're able to stand for Amidah, then please do. And Sharon will lead us in the first 3 paragraphs, and then we'll complete the prayers in silence, joining together on page 100. And feel free to either read the words of the page very fast or the prayer of your heart.
Adonai שפתי תפתח ופי אגיד תהילתך, ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואמותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, עליון, גומר חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומשיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה מתים אתה רב והושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מזריח השמש ומוריד הטל, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיים מתים ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בגבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממיתו חיה ומשמיח ישוע, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיה המתים, אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהרגו חסרה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses your people Israel with peace.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Baruch atah Adonai HaMevarech et Amo Yisrael Bashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Amen. Amen. And we're going to hear Oseh Shalom a little bit later. And meanwhile, we'll turn to page 586 for the Enu.
עלינו לשבח אדון הכל, לתת גדולה כיוצא בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בכוכבי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
And we turn to page 598 for our memorial prayers, Kaddish Yatom. And we remember those in our community who are no longer with us, actually. And we support those in our community who are observing the losses through Shloshim and Yahrzeit. And we particularly think of Sylvia Alden, Keith Steinhardt, Mikhail Belsky, Lionel Berkowitz, Doris Burstein, Beryl Feldman, Rachel Getler, Peter Glow, Rosaline Gomer, Tibor Katz, Morris Levkovich, and Lillian Smith. And tonight, the yahrzeits of Olga Brook, Esther Rechts, Kitty Ross, and Stefa. Are there any other names that you have written there, Sharon?
No, I haven't seen any additional names to what you've said. So,
if anybody has anybody they particularly want us to think about, there is still time to put their name in the chat, and we'll read it out after we've said the Kaddish prayer. So we also remember those who have died across the world from COVID and also from the war in the Ukraine and the famine, which is starting in the Sudan, I believe. There are lots of troubles across the world. So we'll join on page 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevorach li'olam u'la'almei ha'maya, yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudasha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shmaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru Amen. Hamakom yenachem etchem b'toch sha'ar avlei Zion v'Yerushalayim. May we be blessed and comforted among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And I'm now going to invite Rabbi Fred Morgan to play shofar for us.
Hi, everyone.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Shana Tova.
Yes, Shana Tova. And Sharon is going to sing Ose Shalom for us as we bring this evening's Daily Daven to a close. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much, everybody. Ose Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen. Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, imru, amen.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Sharon. I would like also to mention and to welcome our new board following the AGM yesterday and wish them strength and good fortune, good decisions throughout the coming weeks, well, 2 weeks before the High Holy Days. And wish you, Sharon, lots of strength too as you prepare for the High Holy Days. And we hope everything will go very well for our community.
Yep, I second that, and also to officially welcome Michelle back to up on the Bimmer. There's been some comments in the chat that of some people tuning in who are very excited for his return, and I second that. So
I've heard it.
Yeah, that's lovely.
They'll all prepare and be right there in time for the High Holy Days, hopefully.
Absolutely. Stay well, stay safe, everybody. Stay calm during this crazy time. And we'll see you all soon.
Thank you so much, Sharon. Good night, everybody. Erev Tov.